Hi folks, it's Eric with another video from the porch. We've got a real Donnybrook on our hands in our neighborhood. For those of you who don't know what Donnybrook is, that's a real fist fight. And it's been kicked off by a guy who has gotten it in his head that home values are going down the tank in our neighborhood. And he's getting all his information from Zillow and Z estimates. Well, I go in the MLS and I look at what home values are doing, and home values have steadily been rising in the neighborhood over the past few years. Well, what's going on here? Well, Zillow is not the MLS. I had a young man in my office a little while back and we were talking about helping him buy a house, and I'd gotten to a point in the conversation where it was time to get online with MLS and take a look at what's out there in the marketplace for him to see. And I said, "Have you ever seen the MLS?" He said, "Oh yeah, I got Zillow." And I said, "No, you haven't. Zillow is not the MLS, and the MLS is not Zillow." I was looking at a market research study this morning, and it showed that in Fairfax County, in the month of May, Zillow had 58% market share. So 58% of the available listings were on Zillow in the month of May. Arlington County had 41% of the active listings were on Zillow. And in Alexandria, 46% of the active listings were on Zillow. So there's a big disparity between what's active out there versus what's actually in the marketplace. And if you've ever gone on Zillow and you've looked at a property and you've called up the agent about it and said, "Hey, I'd like to take a look at this property at 4256 Elm Street," and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that house sold 6 months ago, but I've got one just like it up the street." You've probably noticed that houses stay in Zillow that have already sold. Agents use that as a tool to attract new customers, so it's not accurate. Also, when houses sell and an agent wants to take it out of Zillow, they typically go in and just cancel it. They don't take the time or the effort to go in and put it into a Z estimate, okay? In other words, into a sold status that would show up as a Zestimate property. Only about 20% of what gets listed actually ends up into the archive for Zestimates. Now, my team and I, we use Zillow. We put listings into Zillow. It's just another marketing tool that we use along with a lot of other marketing tools that we use for listing property. We do not put them into the database for Zestimates because we have to list selling agent, selling brokerage, and then we have to put in some personal information like what the house sold for, what the concessions were, if there were any closing costs paid, and there goes on more personal information that we don't want to release in a public forum. So we don't put them in, and therefore they don't become part of the database for Zestimates. So there's a lot of inaccuracies in there. So, okay, you want to find out what your house would sell for, or you want to find out what you could get if you were to refinance it, or let's say you want to find out, gee, what are houses selling for over in Flaky Acres, because that's the next place we want to live. You know, what's going on? Where can I get that information? Real easy. Contact your family lender, your family realtor, and ask, hey, could you send us some listings from Flaky Acres? What's going on in Flaky? Send us some listings of houses between 550 and 650 in Flaky Acres that have at least 4 bedrooms, at least 2.5 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage. We're not interested in moving right now, but we're considering moving sometime in the next year. So, or let's say you're thinking about refinancing your house and you want to see what the values are. So you could say, hey, could you send me some comparable sales? Comparable sales, that's real estate lingo, or if you want the short version, it's called comps. So you say, send me some comps for our neighborhood, and that way I can see, hey, is this a good time to refinance? Maybe you're paying mortgage insurance because you put down less than 20%. And you want to see what your equity position is, because if you can refinance and your mortgage balance is less than 80%, you can get rid of the mortgage insurance. So that'll save you a lot of money. So contact your family realtor and get that information sent to you. If you don't have a family realtor because they have moved away, or you can't remember who it was, or you didn't get along with them, or whatever, you can always contact me. Just use the contact information below. There's no obligation, there's no hype, there's no pressure. I'm not going to grind on you to do business with me or anything. I'd be happy to send it to you. So, there's a few lessons for the day about Zillow and Zestimates and getting information about comps and some other industry lingo. So, this is Eric from the front porch signing off. I'll see you soon.